Hey, Cole, I really appreciate the time and thanks for joining me. Right now, I'm looking at the standings of the Big Ten. The Michigan Wolverines are at the top. You guys are leading. There's only a couple more scheduled regular season games. Tell me about the season, where your team has been, and obviously where you hope they're going.
Yeah, it's been really fun. We got off to a really good start, and we've kind of been riding that through. And it's a really exciting time, like you said. We only have two more like full series before playoff hockey starts, and I think we're in a good spot right now. And obviously, it'd be great to clinch the home ice for the Big Ten playoffs. But either way, like I have a lot of faith in our group, and we've been playing some good hockey, so it's a really exciting time for us.
Good tune-up, as we talked about. You guys played Penn State was it last weekend?
Yep.
So
hmm
going head to head against a guy like Gavin McKenna, first off, what is that experience like? And you know what surrounds him and what expectations are of next year for him. What's it like to kind of get that marquee type game going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously playing at Yost, it's a sold out crowd every single night, and then playing against a team like that as well makes it even more fun. And obviously being on the road, well, technically not really on the road. We had a home game, and then obviously the duel in the D game was incredible. But
Yeah.
being back at Yost and playing in front of the children is a very special feeling, and to be able to come away with 5 points is definitely a good feeling going into this weekend. So.
I was doing my research with the Michigan Daily, where your coach was quoted in the paper by saying that you had one of your best weekends of the season. From your perspective, was it that, and what went into that weekend against Penn State?
Um, yeah, I mean, I kind of don't try to think about that too much as to when my best was, but I think just trying to little improvements every weekend, and especially trying to start playing some of my best hockey with the playoffs coming up soon. A really exciting time. I think our team's been starting to click again and finding some really good hockey. So it's been a really exciting past couple weeks.
Looking at your game, two specifics I want to point out here. It sounds like there's been a real defensive emphasis added, not only in the PK unit, but also just back checking, creating turnovers. Tell me about that first. And I also want to ask you about faceoffs. What is it without the puck that you've been doing and focusing on maybe this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously there's a ton of skill on our team, and I think for me anyway, I can kind of try to find my footing and way to contribute to help the team win. I'm obviously all in for that, and I think to be able to have an impact on the game in any way I can is something I take a lot of pride in. So.
Don't you feel like that's the natural evolution of a young hockey player? Like you grow up wanting to score goals, you kind of figure that out, how to do that. But then to be a complete player, it's almost like not figuring out the defensive side, but maybe committing to it or making that a real, a part of your game.
Yeah, I mean, I think I try to just play a winning brand of hockey. And like I said, anyway, I can kind of find a way to help or contribute to the team's success is something that I'll always try to put my best foot forward.
The other thing is you're winning about 60% of your draws in total this season, but it's even higher when you're on the PK, and it's also higher in conference play for Michigan. So what is it that's going into you having so much success in the faceoff dots?
Um, Honestly, I wish there was a secret I could tell you, but there's not. I think for
Well,
me,
there
it's just
there
kind
might
of
be a
been
secret you can't tell me. Maybe that's what it is.
that too. Yeah, definitely. There's definitely one of those too. But I think I've just tried to be consistent the whole season, and obviously you kind of have your ups and downs in games. And I think a lot of it's just knowing who you're going against. And obviously we've seen every team once now, and there's different centermen I'll be taking a lot of draws against, and kind of knowing what they try to do, and just little stuff like that can definitely help.
When your coach is matching lines and you look against who you're playing against, are you
Mhm.
sometimes taking that as a compliment and knowing the other key players and key opponents that you're going up against that, hey, maybe I'm getting tapped on the shoulder to go out and play against those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the Big Ten is such a unbelievable like league this year and always has been, but especially this year with the new CHL rule, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
talent in the league this year, and I think it's been a lot of fun and playing against lots of guys who I didn't think I'd play against, other than internationally. So it's been a really exciting year for sure.
One more thing in terms of faceoffs, your wingers are obviously a huge part of that. And when you line up for the draw, you don't have a lot of time to, like, I don't want to say be nervous or overthink it, but what goes into preparing for a successful, let's just say like a D zone draw, like a real big one that you have to win? How do you take the 5 or 6 seconds to get right and get what you need to happen?
Yeah, well, I think for me, like I kind of first off, I'm gonna look at like who I'm going against in the face off, and then obviously depending on how they line up and trying to see where their center wants to win the draw, depending on how they're lined up. And then obviously I know what I'm going to do, and I try to put my best foot forward and rake it back. So.
Going back to World Juniors, I know things didn't go as planned for Team USA, obviously, but for you, the experience, what did you gain from it, and what did you take away from a trip and an event like that?
Yeah, I mean, especially the home soil, and
Yeah.
playing. It's my first time playing in an NHL arena, so it was
Yeah.
super cool feeling, and seeing that crowd, feeling that crowd, being able to have some of my family there too was really special. And being back with some of those older guys who I had met at NTDP, and kind of learning little things from them as well. And I'm super excited for the opportunity again next year, hopefully,
Yeah.
and looking to, yeah, like you said, have a better finish.
The Sharks had so many prospects in the pipeline at World Juniors. I'm just wondering, has your group, the age group that you're in of players that have been drafted already by the Sharks, is there already a relationship? Did you see any of those guys, or do you have the opportunity to connect with them, kind of knowing that you're all connected by the NHL team?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I knew a couple guys before development camp this summer, and then I was able to meet a lot of new guys, and it's been great. Obviously, they were all super great guys at camp, and I've been able to chat with a couple guys after the games when we've played their teams throughout the college season, which has been fun. Kind of catching up with them, and then obviously, I was line mates with Richard Gallant last year, so me and him we've been texting every day for the last 2 years, so it's always back and forth with him. So.
I see you wearing the Sharks hoodie, and I kind of figure that somebody like yourself, you're very focused on where you're at right now. That's what the Sharks coaching staff says: be where your feet are, right? With Ryan Warsofsky. But I'm wondering if you put the hoodie on sometimes just to remind yourself of what could lie ahead if things work out.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously super exciting to think about, but obviously right now it's not at the top of my mind with kind of where we're at in the season,
Yeah.
especially, but it's definitely a exciting thing and something that I'm very proud of. So.
And obviously, to your point, you're fully focused on your own season. Do you still watch Sharks games? Do you pay attention? I mean, that Celebrini guy is doing all right,
Yeah, definitely. It's whenever I can, because obviously the Pacific time's a little different than the Eastern time here, but
Yeah.
whenever I can, and whenever more road games, honestly, but whenever I can, I definitely try to throw them on. Yeah.
Two more things. What keeps you busy away from school, away from hockey? Is there anything else? Do you have room for anything else in your life?
It's definitely packed schedule with school and
Yeah.
hockey. But I mean, little times when we can all we'll get together and throw on some Olympic games, especially right
Yeah.
now. And it's our team's super close, and everyone's has a really great bond with each other. So we kind of, wherever we can go, sometimes we'll just go to dinner some nights, or just hang out, watch TV, just little stuff like that. Whenever we can find the time, it's always been great.
And then the last thing, and I ask this in a very specific way, if you're your own best critic, what's the thing that you think right now you either want to get better at or you need to get better, or what's kind of the area of emphasis for you as your game develops?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me right now, it's just continuing to improve little every single day, and especially throughout the weekends, and building up to playoffs, and then eventually next season is just trying to keep taking little steps in my game and my process. Has been something I've really focused on this season. I'm looking to continue.
Hey, Cole, I really appreciate the time. Best of luck in the collegiate playoffs. Obviously, hope to see you go all the way if possible, and we'll see you this summer at the very worst out in California.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.